This is Robert Decker. You are listening to Everyone Needs a Spotter.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Everyone Needs a Spotter, the multifamily fitness podcast brought to you by our expert team, and I do mean expert team, here at RMS Fitness. I am your host with the most today, Steve Heitzer, proudly joined by two of my three faithful podcasting companions. The other guy is actually here. He's just too good for us today. He's acting all brand new around here, guys. But he's actually been out on the field a lot today, getting busy, helping things happen out there and keeping the lights turned on around here at RMS. But we're not here to talk about who's not here. We're here to talk about who is here. Directly across from me, you know her, you love her, Emily Vinos. Some call her Lil Wipey. How you doing, girl?
Doing good. The sun is out today, and it's going to be warm weather today and tomorrow, so that's good.
Uh-oh. I feel like there's already tension in the air, guys, but that's okay. Because you know what? He leads fearlessly. He don't say much. He's the big guy in the corner. Robert Decker. How you doing, buddy?
Steve, with all that excitement, buddy, let me just buckle in here in my chair and enjoy this podcast with you.
Yes, you will. You will enjoy this podcast with me. No, but you know what? I'm glad that we were able to be here. As we always say, we don't do it enough, and we ought to do it more. And every time we do it, we enjoy what we did.
Yeah.
But it's a shame that we can't find more time to get together here behind the mic, but I am super grateful that we're all able to be here today, and it's always nice to take an opportunity just to kind of chat about what's new, what's going on, what's coming up, and that's what we're here to do today. So I know my week has been super slam jamming. I got back from being on a cruise, and probably for the first time in my life took a vacation where I couldn't get an email for several days at a time. I was definitely struggling to keep my anxiety in order, but I will say the team here did an amazing job when I got back. I only had like 17 fires to put out. It was beautiful. It wasn't too bad at all, and it was nice to come back. But now, of course, you know, when you come back from being gone for a long time, the wall of catch up is crazy, and then it don't stop coming either. So it's like, you know, you're catching up while you're falling further behind. But it's cool. That's 2026, and that's where we're at. But I enjoyed my trip, and I'm glad to be back. It was nice to get away for a few days, and now I'm back to having a really exciting week because while I was gone, everybody asked for updates and revisions and changes and things. So came back to a lot of exciting work, and I was pretty happy about that. Robert, how's your week been?
Well, this week, I guess a little bit of everything. I have been in the office, so time has gotten away from me. So he was away last week, which meant I was away last week in school. So with that said, I feel for Steve. We come back. We have a lot of catch up. But again, definitely a shout out to the team, keeping things together, keeping us together. Yeah. It was a perfect storm for the both of us to be off together. In fact, I think you probably benefited greatly from that, didn't you?
I mean, I did what I could.
So this week has been, to Steve's point, it's that first quarter of the year. Everybody's moving and grooving. The weather has been extremely cold. The snow, we all know about the snow in this area. So that's kept the fitness centers hopping. Very little you can do outside. However, as Emily mentioned, it's very nice outside today. Mm-hmm. So maybe there'll be some people running and jumping all over the place today. We'll see, right? Yeah. But yeah, it was a good week, good busy week. Looking at next week, even busier. I don't want to get ahead of our schedule for the month of March. Steve will catch us up. But yeah, a lot of activity ahead of us, a lot of activity behind us. So back to you, Steve.
No, yeah, I think, it can't be overstated, obviously. Anytime you leave town, especially when you're going to be leaving without good communication for a couple of days for any reason, we're in a front-facing kind of interacting with clients roles. We don't have really like behind-the-scenes stuff that we do. People are looking for us all the time, so it really is nice. And I would be remiss if I didn't shout out the team for covering some things while I was gone, because one day I think I was in Nassau on my trip, and I must have caught a a trade wind with a little cell phone signal on it or something, but I got like 400 emails and I was like, and I started freaking out real quick. And then quickly I could see the team was jumping in on things, chiming in, Steve's out of town. He'll be back in a couple of days. If it's urgent, let me know. Like little things like that just can keep that pressure just from reaching critical mass. And people were, if it was urgent, they let us know. And if it wasn't urgent, they said, have Steve get back to me when he gets back. And that was really nice, just to have somebody run that, a little bit of interference for you outside of your out of office reply or whatever. I mean, people don't really respect those. They see them, but they're still expecting you to reply. So that's it was nice. And I definitely want to take a minute to thank the team. Steven, he's not here, but he was somebody who, fielded some of that for me. And obviously I saw.
Well, let me just say this. He owes us Mr. Vacation all the time. He's going away next month for 2 weeks. So,
no way.
Yeah, let's talk real bad about him.
Been there and done it all. A Dio strikes again.
So he put himself out there for you in hopes that you'll do the same when he's gone for 2 weeks.
Well, that's what we do. That's what we do around here. Half the people think him and I are the same person anyway. So it's really quite all right. But Emily, how was your week covering for Robert and I while we were gone, and then getting to take a break from that once we got back?
It was okay. There was a time when I was a lot younger and things were just a lot different. The business was different, where if Robert was gone for any kind of time, it caused a lot of stress and anxiety. It's not like that anymore, And so the team did good. We were fine.
So you mean to say that it's actually Robert that causes the stress and anxiety now?
Yes. No, joking. No, not at all. No, we just have things set up in a way that, he thankfully, and good for him, deservedly can walk away and the team can just keep on rolling.
Yeah. Everybody deserves to be able to take a break. And
Absolutely.
That's, even if it means you take a break from Robert while he's on vacation.
Yeah. And I was happy for you to have a vacation, Steve.
I know I needed it. It was crazy, though. I will say I stepped off of a cruise ship in Miami, had a beautiful 80-degree drive to the airport, flew a plane, somehow ended up in Pittsburgh for like 5 minutes, which was never on my go there ever list. Didn't leave the airport out of self-respect, and then flew back to Baltimore to a blizzard the next day, and it was really something else. It was a emotional whiplash for sure. But yeah, man, I mean, that's I'm complaining to not complain. What I'm saying is I'm really grateful that I got a chance to go away and get a break right before I had to run the snow back again. It was nice to have that, and again, team was awesome while I was gone, and that's always good. But I know for me, March is looking like a loaded up kind of month of activity. I mean, the number of things that have recently crossed the approval line, the number of installs that just seem to have picked that magic also moment in time to all line up at the same time, plus all of the new activity and things coming my way, it really has me feeling very optimistic about how things are going to be. I know our last episode we talked about strong despite the strain, I think, was kind of the concept of 2025, and how that was a really difficult year in some ways. Not unique to us, just what it was, right? So I'm personally very optimistic about 2026. I think there's a lot of nice, cool things percolating right now, and I know you have some things that you're looking forward to coming up. I know you're going to be traveling to the HFA, it's not home, Health and Fitness Association, right?
Yes.
Trade show, and that's kind of like the Olympics or whatever of fitness. Everyone gets together to show off what they got going on, and I know you're looking forward to going there. Anything in particular you're excited about doing or seeing while you're out there, other than California?
Well, yeah, I mean, San Diego tends to be a nice spot. I assume the weather will be nice, so that will be good. Looking forward to putting on some shorts and walking, because last time we were there, we had to walk a few blocks. That's the arrangement again this time, so get a chance to enjoy the weather. In the States, this would be their thing, right? This is their big fitness expo. So we've created, I mean, despite what we say about 2025, we've created quite a few relationships in 2025. And we've only seen their equipment on documents for the most part, or any pieces that we've gotten in to put in to various locations. So now I and Logan will get a chance to kick the tires on a lot of fitness equipment, meet a lot of the relationships that we only see through email. Yeah. So that'll be good. And but yeah, it's always good. My first priority is to go out and meet all those. I'm looking forward to seeing Jimmy again and Torque, and
shout out Jimmy.
Rob at True, and even Matt said he would be there. Matt Hennessy with Cascade, and Yeah, and then Tom with Hoist. I guess I could go on and on about all of those.
Now you feel bad for not saying everybody else.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know we love you guys.
But yeah, so what's new? I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Every year we go. I mean, we have a funny story. I won't talk. I'll talk in code, but I remember we got pulled upstairs. Got this like real awkward conference, or yeah, I guess you'll call
Like
it
a little breakout meeting or something.
It was awkward, but that's the kind of thing that we'll probably be there. I'll meet people I haven't seen in a while. The fitness world's very small. And being in it for 30 years, you're going to see a lot of people. Maybe even Glenn Taylor will be there. I think he did say he was going to be there.
I think he did say he was going to make it over.
So we'll see.
I really hope that you guys get to see Glenn. I miss that guy.
Yeah.
Come on back. We got some problematic installs coming up that you're going to have to help me out with.
Yeah. We won't talk about Pilates. But with that said, yeah, so what's new? Some of the big names that are out there, what are they going to offer this year? Technology has always been a thing.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't want to steal anything. Maybe we'll talk about it when I get back.
Yeah.
We can share some of that.
Yeah, I mean, you can't let the cat but so far out of the bag
Yeah.
anyway, because a lot of it's kind of, a little cloak and dagger before the show. They don't really let too much out. Some companies take the opportunity to say ahead of time, like, we're going to be displaying X, Y, and Z new product. But then some companies are like, come to the booth and see our new product. And they kind of leave you a little in the dark on that as far as what's going to be there. And so it's always cool when you go because you never really know what new thing you're going to see. And that's interesting, right? Like in the fitness space in particular, like there's a lot of conversations about like innovating and versus like sticking with tried and true and kind of staying with what you know. And I think there is a real sweet spot that companies need to try to find in 2026. Like obviously you have to have these standard kind of offerings, but I was just speaking to one of our reps about how I think innovation is something that is kind of slipping a little bit in our space. There seems to be a lot of people that just show up and say, I'll make treadmills and I'll make strength machines. And as much as I love you guys, I only need but so many, treadmills and strength machines. I can't represent 500 brands in that space, right? And that's just the reality of it. But we do have certain partners, like shout out to Ryan at the Abs Company. I got to give those guys credit, man. I mean, they have been in a relatively niche corner of the market, really creating some unique one-of-one type products that nobody else is offering. And because they patent them, they get an opportunity to kind of set the standard, set the bar for that kind of product for a while. And I just think that's really a good approach for them. They know where their kind of like try and true things are, but they also really see the importance of continuing to like innovate new and interesting products. And I think that that's a really cool thing to do. Torque is another great example of that. Jimmy, every time he comes, he's got like this little like cheat sheet of all these cool little new things. And it's like never a major like rehaul of a product line. They just continue to find ways to innovate within their existing products and make new little configurations and attachments and things. And that's a sign of a really healthy company,
Right.
one that knows what's winning for them, but also is always looking to improve. So I think that's really important. And I think that's something that you and I had that conversation this morning, right? Like, how do you identify what you're really good at?
Right.
Do that really well. You don't want to become complacent, but if you're always trying to reinvent the wheel too, you can't really get into a good rhythm. So I think there's a few companies that are doing a really good job with that, and I think we're one of them.
Yeah, we're trying. We're trying for sure. Yeah. This year, I know we got out of the gate. We had a change in, you could say, the forecast of vendors in the area. So you've been pretty busy with contracts because of that drop off, right?
Yes.
And you're seeing a lot of new clients come in.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people just looking for a different service provider to deal with, and thankfully they've been reaching out to us. So
yeah, and you know what? Shout out, to again the team here. I've been saying since the beginning when I began selling equipment here at RMS that like the service reputation of our company is very important to us. It's always going to be very important to us, most important to us, in fact. Because it really carves you out a very unique space in this industry, especially if you're somebody that sells equipment and services it. So there's always these like groups and entities that come and go and things like that. But we've found that by being really consistent and trying to offer a very consistent level of service for our customers. We don't overpromise. We don't sell ourselves short. We hold ourselves to a standard that we believe is like highly achievable. We advertise that to the customer so they know what they're getting, and then we stand behind what we say.
Sure.
And over the years, that has just meant that even when somebody does get tempted or lured away by a competitor or something like that, we see so much of that come back to us eventually down the line. It just makes me feel really proud of like the ongoing kind of reputation that we've had. Not to pat ourselves on the back, but really all I'm saying that to say is that we're still here. You might see us talking a lot about new equipment and gym installs, but like don't forget us when it comes to our wrench turning and belt lubricating and cleaning, because that is where we started out. I mean, Emily, you can speak to that, right? Long before we ever sold anything, we were doing maintenance and repairs, and that's just been a constant point of improvement for us, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's gonna always be, the companies that or property managers that really shop based on price, and that's fine. And a lot of times there are smaller businesses that can underbid us. But one thing we really try to push this year was with the new contracts is every contract that we have comes with an account manager assigned. So that means any big decisions about the gym, they know who to go to and talk to. And if it means buying new equipment eventually, that's their person. And then we also, with our contracted customers, they get discount on obviously the rates, our service rates, and special pricing for gym wipes, aka Lil Wipey.
Yeah.
And then of course, prioritize scheduling. So there's a lot that comes with it. And like I said, there's always going to be people that shop based on price, and we've lost several based on that. But like to your point, they have come back eventually. Not all of them, but a lot of them, because they do see the difference in what our expertise, our experience, and our guys. They really like us, and that does feel good. So kudos to the whole team.
Yeah, no, I mean I couldn't have said it better myself. In fact, I just spoke to a property manager. Well, he was the property manager. Now he's the regional manager for the property that I was already assisting him at. But he said, hey, I got promoted. Here's the new manager. He's going to be taking over running point for this project. And I recognized his name from another community that I had worked with him at before. So when I got on the Zoom call, it was like, I'm just like trading in one old guy that I've worked with for another, kind of thing. And we were laughing about it a little bit. But at the end of the meeting, I was like, I really appreciate you guys because we've been kicking the tires on this job for like 3 years now. We've like almost got there and then kind of had to pull it back. Then they had like a big flood one year and they had to do some, the gym unfortunately is like, it's like the cherry on top of the sundae. If they run out of money anywhere along the way, you're just not getting your cherry. Like it's just how it is. Like, so a couple times that's happened with this project. And when I just said, hey man, thanks for like sticking in the trenches with me on this one. I really thought that there was a good chance that after all this, nothing was going to happen, or I'd walk into your room one day and I'd see a whole bunch of stuff that you got from somebody else. Like that happens sometimes. And almost without even a hesitation or losing a beat, the guy was like, no. We know RMS is the best. Like we're not interested in doing a different thing. And that has to do with the whole combination of what we're talking about, not just the new equipment, but they've been dealing with us on service, and we've like assisted them with that property there for years without selling them anything. So they have no reason to think that should ever change, right? They know we can depend on us in that way, and now they feel really confident knowing that like we're just obviously not going to just disappear on them if something goes wrong with this new equipment, which isn't an impossibility, right? New things don't always work out perfectly right on day one, but they feel really confident because they know that we're not just going to stop answering their emails once we cash the check because we're already in it with them. You know what I mean? And it was really nice for me to have that conversation. It was like no time between my sentence and his reply when he said that. He was like, no, you guys, you're it.
That's awesome.
So
yeah, it's a good feeling for
and
sure.
He's associated with a really big group that we are really proud to be doing a lot of work with. So, just shout out to Derek. You know who you are, buddy. And I just appreciate you sharing that with me yesterday. That was nice. And, I think about all of those things, new projects coming down the line. We've got lots of Class A, brand new multifamily stuff coming down the pipe. But I know myself, I'm also getting a lot of smaller opportunities right now, which I feel like that is an indicator that maybe we're coming out of this, like, tight purse strings kind of era that we were in. I mean, the economy still feels questionable.
Sure,
Hard to
sure.
really know for sure. I mean, I'm just a guy with a keyboard over here, sending emails. I'm no economist, but I'm starting to feel a little bit of that, like kind of wind changing a little bit. Is that something you guys feel like you're seeing over there?
Yeah, I definitely do. Like with the contracts, just I mean, so I try and keep a list because we have like our end of year goal, and already we have over 20, and it just felt too easy. Like they're just signing, not having to think about it, and a lot of times I'll send a proposal and I'll wait and wait and wait, and then a whole year goes by with me following up, and it just seems like lately I'll send it and then it's like, looks good, send me a contract, and let's get this going. And that just happened yesterday.
Yeah.
So I do feel like it's changing for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely sensed that. I mean, when we would, to your point, every year, guys, spoiler alert, sometimes customers don't renew with us.
Yeah.
It does happen, where every now and then somebody doesn't decide to work with us the next year, right? I usually ask why because I'm highly confrontational and don't really mind people feeling uncomfortable when I do. So I usually ask people, like, anything you want to tell me about this decision just so that I can try to improve because, I'm always trying to make sure that I'm doing the best I can do.
Right.
And almost every singular one of them was like, we went with there's always a unique way that they word it to make you not feel quite as bad, where they'll be like, we went with a proposal that aligned more with our budget goals for this year. That's code for they went with a less expensive option. And when that happens, like initially you can be like, whoa, like what do we got to do? What's going on? What sort of changes do we need to make? But I'm glad we didn't get into too much of that during 2025. Like the race to the bottom is not one that you win when you get there.
Yeah.
And I just think that that's something I'm glad we're not doing.
And then another neat thing, like kind of to your point with Derek, and working with him for so long, there's another client that this regional, every time they purchase another building or whatever, it's a no-brainer. He's always sends me the information and signs us immediately. Like there's the cost doesn't matter. He just wants us because we're the best. And, he said that, not my words. He said that when I thanked him for all the business that he has given us. And he said, RMS Fitness is the best. So.
Thanks, Peter.
Yeah, shout out to Peter.
You know it's Peter.
We're only doing first names to respect people's privacy, but you know who you are. But no, I mean that's to your point. Like there's always going to be somebody that's trying to win on price and things like that, and good on them if they've done their macro game with their company to the point where they can offer a slightly less expensive service, as long as it's not coming at the expense of the customer.
Well, I think I want to interrupt there because I think what happens is that scope to scope, a lot of times it may match up. I mean, I'd like to think so, that every responsible service company has to know what a treadmill requires for maintenance. So the scope looks the same, but it's beyond the scope. That's really where the value is in the relationship. When you have multiple people answering emails. I mean, again, I mentioned it earlier, the forecast in the area changed because there's a larger entity who is struggling. And I know who it is. They know us. We've been at each other for years in this area. They've gone through several name changes, and now they're going through another transition. And so this transition normally is the catalyst behind it. That is no communication. So that's the first thing a person will say. They stop communicating. It takes a long time. And sometimes I try to filter it because it's like, okay, where are we going with this? Is it parts? Because if it's parts, then I want to tell you right up front, it can take a while. But when someone says, they told me the treadmill was broken and it's been weeks and we don't have any, they haven't called or emailed, that part is sad. But that's where we score, is the back end, the constant communication. Even when we don't have the information, we try to pride ourselves on letting the customer know that we haven't forgotten you, but it's taken us a minute to find whatever resource we need to get whatever machine up and running.
Yeah.
And like to what you were saying, some of the contracts that I have lost because of price, I have just asked the property manager, watch them. Be sure that they are actually, or I said first, look at their scope of work, make sure that that's good compared to ours. And I've had people say, yeah, it's the same. I'm like, okay, great, but watch them, because you can't assume. You gotta cut corners sometimes, And so I just said, just be careful. I hope this goes well, but I would say make sure you're watching exactly what they are doing in comparison to that scope of work. Because we had someone that wanted us to come out to do a site visit and said their technician never brought in a vacuum when they were performing the maintenance. So their cost was really small compared to when we sent our proposal, and the guy was kind of like, what in the world? And it's like, we're actually doing work.
Yeah.
I don't know what your
tools.
PM looks like if you don't have a vacuum. So
It's pretty mission critical.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how anyone pulls that up, but I've heard that before, and I've actually been on site because I do leave the office on occasion and go out to these places. And when I get there, I've walked into these places before, and I mean, look, I'll just say, not all companies are created equal.
No,
you know what I mean?
it's true.
And that's not a dig at anybody, honestly, because whatever you're doing, if it's for you, and as long as you're fulfilling the expectations that you say you can fulfill, and you are meeting the obligations you committed to making, like, no, shame on me for shaming anyone else, right? But at the end of the day, Emily, to your point, there's a lot of corner cutting that happens out here. And now sometimes the biggest problem I think I have, especially when I go out and I find new maintenance customers, is I got to tell them ahead of time, like, hey, look, we are going to light you up on this first visit. And I know you may not have been getting that feedback from your existing person because maybe they didn't have the ability to help you with a replacement machine for something that was obsolete, so they just were passing over it. Or maybe they knew they couldn't get parts and they didn't want to expose themselves because they don't have a way to address that concern beyond telling you they can't get it. But sometimes I go into these places, and it just recently happened where somebody was like, oh, like, let me know if you guys can do maintenance here. And I went out, and right away I walked in the room, and whoever was doing the maintenance before had, just because the seat post on this bike, the adjustment handle had broken, and the bike is like 20 years old. There's no parts for it. Whoever it was just shoved like an Allen key down into the seat post, and it just locked it at the highest setting. It just clicked it in there and walked away. And when I showed the property manager, she was like, can you guys fix that? And I said, no, but we would have told you. Like, we would have told you that this was not fixable and that it was a safety issue. I said, if somebody pulls that out while they're sitting on this bike, or if it happens to fall out, or just for whatever reason, if it breaks, I said, and that person goes from high seat to the bottom of that seat, I said, you could have a real serious problem on your hands. And, right away she was like, where do I sign?
Right.
Basically. And again, saying a lot to basically say, you get what you pay for in some cases. And some people are just happy to take your money and send you a piece of paper saying they came out and did something. And that's not us. And it never will be.
Nope.
Yeah.
So I know for me, I'm looking forward to some things coming up this year. I've got a couple really nice projects in New Jersey coming around the pipe. Robert, you're already assembling the troops, coordinating the hotels, renting the trucks. We're getting ready to do it a little different this year than we've done in the past. Are you excited about the new approach?
I think again, when we're absorbed in wrench time in the repair and maintenance side, I think it's the installs give the guys an opportunity to be together in the field. That's always a good feeling. So the troops will be getting together in a couple of weeks, and we'll be doing the whole multi-state install, and then something else down the line. And we took on a new, larger contract, similar to one of your larger partners.
Yeah.
So that will take us into various locations in Pennsylvania, and then all the way to Ohio, right?
Ooh. Ohio. I like that.
So we're expanding, and we want to thank Aaron, right?
Yeah.
Aaron signed us on that one, so that was a good feeling. But yeah, getting the team out on the installs, it's a lot of work because maybe if Chris is listening, I'll explain the process. But what you may not know is that in our industry, we will try to prep for the delivery. So if we have a locked-in date, and new construction has its challenges, and they at times our relationships don't quite understand that it's not as simple as just bringing in some boxes into the location, but we're actually building equipment, testing it, whatever we possibly can here to ensure a good install. Yep. So there's some time there prior to the actual date of install. So once we have that, then obviously I have a plan. I'm the planner, and I'll plan how we go into the location, how we set up, and then that is generally an opportunity for the team to really see something from a render, right, to an actual all install. And with that said, we have a good time. We really do, and we're looking forward to that. So I'm going to spin off, though, because I think what Steve's alluding to is with this busy season, we got to stay healthy. And so got to keep, I keep insisting that the team stay relatively in a movement state, because we're going to be lifting and moving a lot of equipment. So I want people to stay on top of their health personally. So, so I'm really, engaged. I know Em's going to be out on a few of those, right?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, you generally are. And she's the one behind the camera that's generally following us all around the install. So you'll see some of those highlights in the near future. So, looking forward to it, and looking forward to some warm weather, because the installs in sub-zero temperatures can be difficult. It's been some
careful
rough
what you
ones.
wish for, bro. It's going to be 100 out there before you know it. You're going to be
had
doing it
those
then too.
Yeah.
And actually, that can be tricky because a lot of times the new projects, you never know. Like, it might be working one day, and then you go out there to do the install, and that's the day that they're like, "Oh, we're testing the fire systems and the power's off or something," and you're like, "Great, now it's 102."
Or the elevator. You're going to have to wait for the elevator.
Yeah, you know what though? Every time I do one of these jobs and I encounter a new heat-seeking missile curveball of whatever you want to call it, I just come to realize, like, every time I'm a little less stressed about the next one because I'm like, well, if we figured that out, like, it's going to be all right. Yeah. And, I'm pretty confident now, having seen what our team can do time and time and time again, is that there's nothing that we can't overcome out there in the field. And what I will tell you, too, is I've seen the other groups. I've seen a lot of other teams out there. There is no group like our group in the field. It shows up not only in the work that's happening, but in the spirit that's happening, the conduct that happens out there. When we're there, you don't have to worry about our team offending your staff, your residents, and things like that with any of our how we dress, how we act, how we speak there on site. And I've just gotten that feedback from so many people over the years that I just feel really confident now moving forward. And I mentioned to you earlier that, like, in 2024, I was forecasting that 2025 was going to be a little bit strenuous. But I kind of forgot in the middle of 2025 that I already knew that was going to happen. And kind of in the back...
We know. We know.
Well, listen, in the back end of 2025, I think I was right in it. Like, I was right in the moment where I was like, we had made this transition from a lot of smaller sales and opportunities to working on some really nice, big, impressive projects. And I always felt like there was going to be a moment where it didn't seem like we had things going on. And, at the end of last year, I was really like, man, like, hope these projects come along. I really hope these projects come along. And, like, now I'm looking back and I'm like, oh, yeah, they're all here. That's right. We were working on all of these really big, long-term projects that are kind of in the batter circle or whatever, waiting to rip a home run for us. So I'm really looking forward to this year. I've got some pretty cool projects lined up personally. I know, even though he's not here, I know Steven's gotten some really nice approvals on projects. He's kind of like he gets all the ones that I don't enjoy trying to get, and he's really good at them. Like, he kills the game with condos and HOAs and stuff. He loves going to a board meeting and bringing donuts and doing his thing, and
does very well with that.
Yes,
shout out to him for that, man. And everybody's got a lane, and I think he's doing really good there too. So, just a lot of cool things to be excited about. Social media is popping right now. Shout out to the Caleb and Adriana for running point on a lot of that activity and things, and that's really cool. Shout out to you for that, Robert, and Emily with your move every day and your 100 push-ups and your shameful indictment of my physical condition. You guys have anything you'd like to just encourage? I know you mentioned staying healthy, but anything you'd like to encourage the listeners about, as the weather gets better, simple things they might be able to do to kind of, if they're feeling maybe like they want to get going, but they're not able to get started, anything you'd like to impart to them?
Well, yeah, I think so. So I was looking up some things earlier, and Emily will tell you the benefits of wearing a weighted vest. That seems to be the popular item in 2026.
It is.
Emily's an expert. Can you tell them what you experience when you're
Yeah,
wearing
it's
that?
just, it's just extra weight, obviously, so you're working harder than your normal walk. Now, I don't want to downplay the benefits of a normal walk. If you are literally just starting, doing a 10-minute walk outside, especially on a day like this, get some fresh air, get some sun, does wonders for you. So if you're really just starting out and you don't know what to do, just go for a walk. It doesn't get any less complicated than that. Yeah. And walking after your main meals, huge. So if you're consistent with it, that's all you need to do. Just go for a walk. But yeah, the weighted vest is a little up your game with a little more intensity. You have more weight on you. It's supposed to help with your bone density, all of that. And yes, super popular right now.
Yeah. And so, like I said earlier when we were talking before the podcast, outside is warming up. Hiking's a big deal in our area. And I did mention to Steve, I tried to encourage him, that we're going to try the 100 push-up, 100 squats per day, every day for the month of March. So that is something, and I think the feedback I'm getting is people are trying it, and I think they're enjoying it. It's not easy. I have found that throughout the day, it gives me a mental break. So I'll, find a corner somewhere in the building and do it, and just trying to keep the mental health and physical health on the same plane so that neither fail. But yeah, looking at that, and then I said I would mention about new products in 2026. I know people are still well involved in strength training, but I couldn't help but notice that recovery is, again, becoming a bigger than normal portion of what people should be doing when they work out. We forget about the cool downs. We forget about the stretching, but there's a lot of alternatives. I know you have products that you have put in various locations. So yeah, so again, we put the fitness equipment in, but we feel highly, what would I say? We feel very, very excited to share any kind of health information with those that we come in contact with, because that's what we do here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, standard disclaimers we always make. We're not doctors, we're not nutritionists,
Nope.
We're not personal trainers. But we've all experienced either being in shape or out of shape in various degrees in our life, and whether it's your physical health, your mental health, or the physical and mental health of the people around you, you know what I mean? It can all be affected by what's going on. And I know if you're at all like me, the winter months can be really tough.
Yeah.
It's all dark. Days feel fast and long, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like they go by quickly, but it feels like it's a lot of darkness. You're missing a lot of the middle part of the day and things like that. And that can leave a lot of room for the mental woes to creep in, the anxiety, depression, and things like that. And everybody deals with that to a certain degree, but I would just encourage people to take the opportunity as the weather begins to improve now.
Yep.
Don't wait until like October, November to start trying to get yourself together because the holidays are coming. Now is the time to, to begin to lay the groundwork. If you need to take that first walk and you haven't taken it, start in March. Don't start in February. Don't even wait till March. Just start doing whatever that is, because you can't build upon what you haven't started building. Right. And if you take those first steps, even if it's just a walk, you may feel 1% better, and that extra 1% the next day might be the difference between being able to do it again or not. And I think that encouraging people to take advantage of even just simple ways to stay in shape mentally and physically is really important. It's a goal of mine. I'm really trying to get back to it. I have definitely not been taking care of myself physically, and I would be lying if I said that I don't feel like it also affects me mentally. So I'm going to take your advice. I'm going to try to do 100 push-ups a day. Y'all don't want to, you don't want to see what 100 push-ups a day Steve looks like, but you know, you might have to bump it up to 200 for everybody else to, you know, keep up with me.
This guy.
No, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I did the 25 a day for 25 days thing in a row back at the old at 95-12.
Yeah.
I was pretty impressed with just what 25 push-ups a day can do for your, you know, for your health and your physique and just how you feel and things, especially when you're already a naturally slim and trim guy, you know.
Well, to your point earlier, we all sit at a desk.
Yeah.
And if you're there for, you know, unfortunately, a long periods of time, it's good to get up from your desk and do something to move around.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You've been setting a good tone with that. I mean, both of you guys, look, okay, I come in here at 8 o'clock every day and y'all are in there like, rah, 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 and I'm like, well.
That's mostly Emily.
I don't know. I mean, Robert's got his
it's the
screaming
music.
motivational
Yeah, it's the
post.
music.
Get
Yeah,
up!
okay.
You can do it! No one's doing it for you! Robert's got himself all pumped up in there.
I do like those motivational things because something that just called to mind, and not to like take it serious, but is one of them was like choose your hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to be out of shape. It's hard to not fit into your clothes. It's hard to not be able to keep up. It's hard to be exhausted. Okay, yeah, that all of that is hard. It's also hard to get up and go to the gym. So, you know, and staying consistent. So it's a matter of choose your hard because either way, it's hard, but the one is way better.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's, yeah. Anyone that's let themselves go too long, too far knows exactly what you're talking about. Like, you know, it definitely becomes more difficult to get back to even just a standard level, you know, if you get to a certain point. So for sure. And so just keep tuning in, guys. If you're tuning into our social medias, you're going to see a little bit of Robert doing his push-ups or breaking his resistance bands or whatever else he does in there. You'll see Emily.
That was funny. Let me tell you, that caught me by surprise.
Me too.
Oh, look, I'm just glad it was a funny video and not some of these crazy things I've seen on YouTube,
Yeah,
man. I've seen guys lose an eyeball behind those things.
I was actually cooling down. They tell you to just do certain things like that to cool down. And, man, when that popped.
Man.
I was like.
It was embarrassing because, you know, we preach about replacing those things periodically.
I had to remind him. I was like, I think we had these all the way back when we were in Kingsville.
Right.
So
Right. These are coming up on their bicentennial over here.
So, needless to say, we did a little house cleaning.
Yeah, we sent one of our techs in there to do a routine maintenance on our gym.
His name's Mike. No, I'm kidding.
No, but really, I think that's it, guys. You know, we're here at 42. Choose your hard. It's also really hard to do a podcast in under 40 minutes, apparently. Yes. We've never been able to do it. But no, we're pretty happy, man, to be back. This is a nice one. We didn't really do a whole lot of, like, prep ahead of time as far as, like, the subjects and things, but we did want to get on and just let people know we're excited. We are excited right now. The energy level is high here at RMS. You're going to see it more on your feeds, your Instagrams, your inboxes, as a, you know, non-annoyingly as possible, but we are going to be there, and that's going to be what it is. So we hope that everybody continues to follow along with the social media, follow along with the challenges, post your own if you're doing it with us or you're feeling like you're motivated to to engage. Hit a drop at RMS Fitness hashtag Move Every Day.
Yeah, let's do that.
We'll see it, and we'll see you out there. We'll give you a shout out too. And really, that's all I got. I know I'm going into this weekend. I've got a couple little plans. I'm going to try to do a little work around the house. Still doing laundry from vacation, but that's really all I got. Robert, you got anything fun lined up this weekend?
Well, fun for me might not be fun for everyone, but with the weather, I think the world knows I'm a car guy, so I like to detail my car from time to time. It's been the winter's been rough on it, so I'll take some time to clean that up. I'll look in the garage. I'm not sure I'll get totally involved in the garage clean out, but it's that time of year. And then, you know, the snow, the salt, I've got to look around the house and see what needs to be repaired and make my little to-do list. But yeah, spend time at home without looking out at about 12 inches of snow will be refreshing.
Yeah.
It might hit 60 this Saturday in Maryland, so she'll be good.
Oh man, that sounds beautiful.
Yeah.
Really does. Emily?
My aunt is a big Elvis fan.
Woo!
And there's another movie coming out. Same director that just did the one that came out like 2-3 years ago. But this one is all real footage of Elvis.
Oh, wow.
So she wants to go see that, so she rallied up the family, and we're going to go see that tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, yeah. That sounds like a good time. Yeah. movies is one of those things where, like, I don't know what happened the last couple of years. Me and my family used to watch so many movies, and then movies have kind of cooled. But then recently we've like found them again, and we're doing a lot of like movie nights, going back and watching the early aughts, 2000 stuff. You know,
Yeah.
that like my kid was too young to watch them, but now he can watch, and it's
Yeah.
pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
awesome.
enjoying a little bit of movie time again. I forgot to mention, I am going to take a crack at indoor rock climbing, actually.
Awesome.
I read a book, actually, while I was on vacation, and I'm a little bit intrigued, so I'm going to give it a shot. And just looking for something where I can challenge myself in a way that I've not done before, without having to lift weights, because it's always a indictment on me as a person. But really, guys, that's all I had. And, you know, as always, as we get ready to wrap up the podcast, we do always want to recommend that if you have found this podcast to be educational, informative, and or entertaining, that you would just share it with one person in your network. We know that our multifamily operators and developers, property managers, and everything in between are well connected. And if there's someone you think could benefit, we would really appreciate the share, as well as a 5-star review and nothing less, or I'll find you, I promise. And otherwise, we're wrapping it up for the week. I am your host, as always, Steve Heitzer, proud to be signing off of this episode of Everyone Needs a Spotter. Robert?
Have a great weekend, everyone.
Lil Wifey?
Thanks for listening, everybody.
We'll see you here next time, everybody. Have a good weekend. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.